Guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. Sorry I took a day off yesterday from the Royal Rumble retro recap and review series. I just had a lot going on. I couldn't really use my computer for recording these reviews, so I had to take a break for the day. But again, it's fine as long as I get multiples done in the next several days. I should be getting these done pretty quickly. But we're going to venture now into the 2001 Royal Rumble match, the 14th episode of this recap and review retro series. And my goodness, was this around the time where the WWF was at its highest. It was probably some of the best booking we had by then. We had some of the hottest stars of the Attitude Era in this match at all. We had Kane, make himself very well known in this match as well. It was just a very fun Royal Rumble match. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Let's get right into it. No hesitating around because we have SmackDown in about half an hour. So the 2001 Royal Rumble match took place on January 21st, 2001 at the New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. And as always, stipulation, the winner gets a championship match at Wrestlemania 17 or Wrestlemania X7, which will be known as the best WrestleMania of all time. And this was where it was, leading right to it, as the WWF was continuous to kick some rear end, and they were slowly putting the WCW and ECW brands out of business as they were taking over the wrestling industry. So let's get right to the match. With number one was Jeff Hardy. Start off at number one. The Hardy Boys were a very popular tag team at this time, and Jeff Hardy especially was very over, which would play into effect into feuds down the line between him and Matt. As of course, Jeff seemed to always be the more popular one than Matt as well. Then followed by Bull Buchanan at number two. They went at it for a little bit until Matt Hardy entered at number three. Then the Hardy Boys would team up to eliminate Bull, but then they would go at it, Matt and Jeff. They were just seriously going at it, just brothers, just trying to bring out the best in each other for the rest of the time they were in. Number four was Farouk. He would come in. The Hardy Boys would stop wrong with each other and team up on him, and they would eliminate Farouk. But they continued to wrestle. It got so serious that Jeff Hardy actually did rip off his shirt and tie it around his waist. So these two brothers was trying to bring out the best in each other. There. Then number five was a surprise entrance. It was Drew Carey. Drew Carey was in this match because he has had an improv pay-per-view the following weekend, so he was there to promote it. Now, I gotta be honest, I haven't seen too much of Drew Carey outside of just what I know him best for, is being the replacement for Bob Barker on The Price is Right. I'm sorry, no offense, Drew Carey sucks on The Price is Right. He just, isn't the right person to fill the shoes of Bob Barker. So, I'm sorry, I wasn't really a big fan of I still am not really a big fan of Drew Carey because of how he treats The Price is Right. But him appearing in this Royal Rumble match, alright, it was quite entertaining. He came in, and it was just, just in there for the heck of it, as the Hardy Boys would eliminate each other doing suplex. So Drew Carey's in there, just, hanging out without just having a good time. Then number six was a bunch of fire came out as Kane made his way to the Royal Rumble match. And we will see Kane for quite some time here in this match. He came out, and Drew Carey's freaking out, what do I do? So he's just trying to avoid Kane getting out of the ring, and just running around, but not avoiding him. Following by Raven, who came out. I believe, when Raven came out, though, this match really turned it up, because I think it was the year before, or 99, I can't remember which year it was when the Hardcore Championship came around. So hardcore matches were pretty popular by then. So I believe when Raven came out, that's when, they started getting a little bit more hardcore. Drew Carey, though, would panic that he would jump over the top rope and eliminate himself. And then Al Snow, who's supposed to be coming in at number 8, would then start attacking Raven earlier in the match, bringing all the weapons and whatnot. So before the number 8 slot came up for the Rumble, Al Snow had already made his way down to the ring. So he started attacking everything, trash cans and whatnot, even got into the ring. And it was just, a hardcore match being put into a Royal Rumble match. What you asked for, all the pans and the trash cans and the kendo sticks. It was a lot of fun to watch in this third of the Rumble. Number 9 was Perry Saturn. Number 10 was then Steve Blackman. And number 11 was Grandmaster Sexy. Now, Kane, despite he didn't win this Royal Rumble, he's probably had his strongest showing in there. Why? It's all about the elimination. Kane would go on wreaking havoc and eliminate pretty much everybody out of the Rumble. He eliminated Grandmaster Sexy. He then eliminated Steve Blackman. He then eliminated Al Snow. then Raven, and then Perry Saturn. So it was Kane in the ring all by himself. And number 12 was a surprise return, the Honky Tonk Man, coming out there bragging about how he felt he was the best Intercontinental Champion of all time. He does a little parody of his song or whatever. Kane didn't buy it. He eliminated him. So just like that, Kane has so far, let me see here, let me count. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eliminations so far by Kane early on in this match for him. Number 13 was a guy he was not going to eliminate for quite a while, and that was The Rock, who is still one of the hottest baby faces in the company. He comes out number 13. Number 14 was The Good Father, not The Godfather, it was the same guy, except he came out as The Good Farter. Good Farter, wow, I'm so sorry, a big botch there. The Good Father, pretty much with this, hoe train or whatever, with all of his good-looking ladies coming out with him. He only lasts about 14 seconds in the ring, as The Rock would eliminate him. Number 15 was then Tazz, who had a very brief appearance in the World Wrestling Federation. He will be eliminated by The Rock, and I believe he was eliminated by Kane, and I don't think he would last in the company too much longer after this. That's number 15. Number 16 was Bradshaw. Well, he known him as JBL, but he was just Bradshaw this time still. Number 17 was Albert. No longer Prince Albert, just Albert. Number 18 was Hardcore Holly. Then number 19 was K-Quick. Now, who is K-Quick? Well, it appears that was R-Truth. That's one of his old wrestling names, K-Quick. He came in at number 19, didn't really look any different than he does now. Number 20 was Val Venis. Number 21 was another familiar face that we know, as he's now the general manager of NXT, Mr. William Regal. Or if I should do my Samoa Joe imitation, Regal! Sorry, Regal! Or whatever. Not really the best, but I just had to get the eyes popping out because Joe, with his eyes, are always awesome. But he came out at number 21. He wouldn't last long, though, as the next entry, number 22, Test, would come in and he would eliminate Regal from the match. So he had a lot of eliminations so far. Of course, most of them were by Kane at this point. And number 23 was also another surprise entrant. It was the Big Show, who a few months earlier had been sent back to OCW because he wasn't in good enough shape. So they didn't know when he was going to be back. So he came back and he went in there. He, wasn't only about a minute and a half, but he had a dominating performance going in there, and he would eliminate Tess and then K-Quick until The Rock eliminated him, and him and The Rock were involved in the feud in 2000, so they kind of continued their feud going somewhat a little bit here in 2001. So Big Show pulled The Rock out for the bottom rope in this match, of course, giving some, the baby face, a challenge to overcome. And he eliminated, the monitors from the announce table, and Big Show choke slammed The Rock through the announce table. So The Rock, for a time being, looked like he was not going to be able to finish the match. But Big Show's maybe in a minute and a half, very dominant performance. Number 24 was Crash Holly. Number 25 was The Undertaker. This is the time where Undertaker and Kane were on good terms. The Undertaker was the American badass entering on motorcycles, not being the dead man right now. But he came down to the ring, and Kane and Undertaker just cleaned house. Taker eliminated Bradshaw, then Kane will eliminate Crash Holly, and then Hardcore Holly eliminated by Undertaker. Kane eliminated Albert, and then Val Venis eliminated by Undertaker. So it was just the two of them in the ring at the same time. Number 26 was Scotty Tahati, who would then be eliminated by Undertaker. They weren't and Kane. They weren't too impressed with him. Number 27 was a man with the story of the night, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was out for most of 2000 with his neck injury, so does he still have it coming back? He came out though, but earlier tonight he did cost Triple H the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. So because of that, Triple H came out and just started attacking him on the ramp and busting him wide open. As Stone Cold Steve Austin does quite a lot. He bleeds a lot, but he busted him down just temporarily put him down. 28 was Billy Gunn, being known as just the one at the time. Number 29 was Haku, and number 30 was Rikishi. Now, actually, this was the time wherever Rock cut the promo about Rikishi going, "I did it for The Rock. I did it for the people. I did it. Shut up, you thong word, fatty!" Or whatever The Rock said. This is around the time because this is where Rikishi was the one who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin's car and turned heel. His heel run was alright. I hear people say his face run was better, but he came in at number 30. He didn't really last too long in there. Austin would then eliminate Haku, and then Rikishi would eliminate Undertaker at least, but then when Rikishi was about to do his splash move, or heck they call it, he was about to do it on The Rock. The Rock would then hit him with a low blow, and he would fall right out of the ring. So the final four were The Rock, Kane, Billy Gunn, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Of course, Billy Gunn didn't last that much longer. He was kind of like, the overrated pick to be in the final four. He was eliminated by Stone Cold Steve Austin. But in the last 5 minutes, the story told her between, The Rock, Kane, and Austin, three of the best in the ring at the same time, just going at it. Kane and dominating. They got Kane out of the way, but then Rock and Stone Cold were going at it, teasing, the main event of WrestleMania for here, which was an awesome main event when, Austin was doing anything he can to get that title back. And even as far as, turning heel and, aligning himself with Vince McMahon, who a couple years ago had been aligning himself with The Rock in the corporation. But that was the case this year. We had our preview there as well. Kane would go back, though, and he would eliminate The Rock after The Rock avoided so many near eliminations, and so did Kane. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin still busted wide open from the attack earlier from Triple H, went out there and just dominated, and he would eventually then eliminate Kane, which Kane was in there for the longest. His match in most eliminations. Kane was in there for 53 minutes and 46 seconds. He had 11 eliminations. It's a dominant performance, but unfortunately only placed second as Stone Cold Steve Austin, for the third time in his career, wins the Royal Rumble match. I believe this is the last time Austin ever did win a Royal Rumble match, as he would, had that nagging neck injury in his career at this point, so he was very limited on borrowed time with what he can do, so it's unfortunate. But he would win, and then The Rock would eventually become champion, and he would go on to WrestleMania, and it would be The Rock and Stone Cold in the main event of WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania X7 in the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. One of the best shows. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you watching it. So, but yeah, that's the recap of what happened in the Royal Rumble match in 2001. Let's look back at the numbers again. Jeff Hardy entered first, had a time of 6:36 with 3 eliminations. Bull Buchanan, 2:08, no eliminations. Matt Hardy, yes! Yes! I had to do the broken gimmick here. 4:45, 3 eliminations. Farouk, 58 seconds eliminations. Drew Carey, 2:54, no eliminations. Kane, 53:46, 11 eliminations. Raven, 8:51, no eliminations. Al Snow, 7:08, no eliminations. Perry Saturn, 5:02, no eliminations. Steve Blackman, 3:08 with no eliminations. Grandmaster Sexy, a minute 3, no eliminations. The Honky Tonk Man, minute 16 with no eliminations. The Rock, 38:42 with 3 eliminations. The Godfather, 13 seconds, no eliminations. Tazz, 10 seconds, no eliminations. Bradshaw, 17:40, no eliminations. Albert, 15:53, 0 eliminations. Hardcore Holly, 14:04, no eliminations. K Quick, or as we know today is R-Truth, 7:53, no eliminations. Val Venis, 10:22, no eliminations. Number 21. 2:01, no eliminations. Number 22 is Test, 2:08 with 1 elimination. Big Show, minute 23, 2 eliminations. Number 24 is Crash Holly, 2:31, no eliminations. Number 25 is The Undertaker, 10:45, 4 eliminations. 26 was Scotty Tahadi, 47 seconds and no eliminations. Stone Cold Steve Austin, 9:38, 3 eliminations. Billy Gunn, 7:22, no eliminations. Haku at over 29, 2:51 with no eliminations, and then Rikishi at 2:35 with 1 elimination. Once again, Kane had the longest time with a time of 53:46. Kane had also was eliminations with 11. That was a record until 2014. And the total time of this Royal Rumble match, we got over an hour again. It was 1 hour and 1 minute and 55 seconds. We haven't really been, up that high in Rumbles recently. But we got that. It was probably one of the longer ones we've had in a while. And overall great. Again, the storylines going on in this Rumble, the hardcore style being brought in there, Kane being dominating, getting respect that night, The Rock and Austin doing their jobs as hot baby faces as well, and even the star power as well that was still in this match also was just great. I give this Royal Rumble an A- leading up to WrestleMania X7, which to me was still the greatest WrestleMania of all time. If you haven't watched that WrestleMania, go watch it. But that is it for this retro review and recap for the for the 2001 Royal Rumble match. What are your thoughts on the 2001 Royal Rumble match? You left down in the comments below. And be sure as always to click that like and subscribe more content on this channel. And follow me on Twitter, DemandAirBrown93. I'll be back up here for my live review of SmackDown Live later on tonight. And until then, guys, have a good night.